workers that the firms that are in the state or coming to the state are trying to attract are probably, this is not us being optimistic, dreamy planners. This is us observing, working with the private sector and the real estate industry to say, what are people trending towards buying? What are they looking for? Are they looking for the kind of residential development that the past they were looking for? And the answer is no. But that doesn't mean that higher-end housing doesn't have a place in this state. What we're looking for is a state that has options. So if you want to live in a healthy, safe city with good education, that's where you can live. If you want to live in the suburbs with a big house and a big yard, well, that's where you can live. So what we're looking for here is having a wide range of options for our residents, because we think that's part of a prosperous future. And that's what the plan says. We also recommend that the state planning framework has not delivered for New Jersey and is a weakness at this point, and a threat to our future prosperity. The vision we set, the mission and vision we set is high level. So we don't talk about what's going to happen in your backyard. We don't talk about how we're going to improve your local top lot. We don't talk about exactly the interchange we're going to improve. We talk about a high-level vision where New Jersey is the national leader in private and public investment, which supports sustainable communities. So New Jersey is supporting sustainable communities that attract and provide strong economic opportunities, preserve our state's natural resources, and create healthier communities to work, reside, and recreate. That's what we want for our state. And we want to help our local communities get the state to that place. In order to do that, we set a mission that is also high level. To focus New Jersey's policy investments on vibrant regions by fostering targeted job growth, supporting effective regional planning, and preserving the state's critical resources. So in this, you see balance between economic development, preservation, and our communities, which is all an important mix here for the state plan. We heard through our journeys throughout the state more about what the plan shouldn't be than what it should be. So let me read you a couple things that we heard from our communities and the residents and the business community about what the plan shouldn't be. It should not be a top-down approach to force compliance with the statewide land use plan. We have plenty of land use plans in the state. We've got county plans, we've got local plans, we have Highlands plans, we've got all kinds of plans. So in the end, we have lots of plans, so we don't need another one. In terms of a land use perspective, we don't need an additional layer of bureaucracy. We don't need a substitute for good local and regional planning. We don't want to take away local planning and zoning. We don't think that this plan is some sort of silver bullet. It's going to solve all of our problems, or a one-size-fits-all that's going to have an answer for every single community. Nor do we think it's an unfunded mandate. The plan has a set of guiding principles for state decision-making that, if we were to follow from state government perspective, we feel we have a better partner with local government and the private community. We've set 4 core goals. The first goal is targeted economic development, where we identify core state industries in the state that will help us move forward if we retain and attract them. This does not ignore our important land and water-based industries like farming and fishing. It also talks about new industries in the state that we want to attract, like the green energy industry. We want to align partnerships and working groups around that. Our second goal is about effective regional planning. We're trying to stage it down to the lower level to make sure that our municipalities are working together within a regional framework, and oftentimes that will probably mean them working closely with their counties. We want to phase out the state plan policy map, transition to a criteria-based system that we have some information on our website that you can ask questions about tonight. And basically work with local governments through a performance-based scorecard where they can judge their own actions and identify things that they need from the state. Our third goal is in relation to preservation and enhancement of our critical state resources. We think our state farmland and open space programs are world-class. We want to see that they continue in the future. We know we can't buy it all. We're not trying to buy it all. We only want to work with willing sellers. So we're not going to use certain tools that may force landowners to sell their land. We also think that with working with local governments through clustering provisions and through things like that, we can get land use and preservation objectives met without spending more public money. And our fourth goal is tactical alignment of state government. This is the thing that local governments are kind of hammering us for. We're going to discontinue the plan endorsement process and really drive the results with this state implementation steering committee. The State Planning Commission remains in place for engagement with local government. So to sum up here, we think that in 2012, after we go through this long process to adopt the plan, we can have a more effective and efficient, smarter state government as a result of the common denominator of land use, but more focus on strategic investments, flexibility with local government and private sector, so we can have a better state for all of us to live in the future. That's all I have. So I laid out a framework. So what we're going to do, we're going to do about 5 minutes of questions at the most. If you have anything that's burning, you don't have to ask any questions. Then we're going to ratchet it down. We've got staff here, staff members in the back if you want to raise your hands. All right. If anybody has any questions offline, they're not going to answer policy questions for you, but they may help get you to the parts of the plan that you're most interested in. If you have any written comments you want to submit, they'll help you get to that place. If you want to submit questions after tonight, we have a website set up where you can submit comments to the website. And here I am. Is there questions that you want to ask now?
I'm not prepared with a sheet of paper for the comment, but I'd like to say, what is a district? Because that seems to be unclear to me as far as national, state, county. Where is this district coming? District, region.
Right.
That has nothing to do with breakdown of the federal down to the local.
Right.
Now, there's new wording in there.
Now, we say region because we want to be flexible. Depending on the issue in question, maybe there's an appropriate scale.
Well, who's in charge of the region? We have a legislator and the governor and the local representative that we elected to the region.
Well, if the region is the county government, then
This region I heard you talk about. A region. Is it like a district or region?
Region.
Okay, so what is region? Is that an elected area? Like the town has an elected person to represent the citizens of that town?
it depends. It depends. If there's a couple municipalities working together around a corridor, maybe there's a consortium of those local elected officials that want to help each other make decisions together. If it's a county government, you're electing your freeholders. If it's the Pinelands Commission or the Highlands, then there's a process to appoint those that the legislature has provided.
Not directly answerable to the citizens of that area, because it's a combination of areas.
Thank you.
These are going to be separate meetings at 5 minutes.
Yes, this is not the public hearing will start at 7 o'clock promptly, and you have free reign to give testimony or written comments in contact. This was just an opportunity for you to get in. Burning questions about tonight and how tonight's going to go? Anybody have questions about tonight and how tonight's going to go?
If there's anything on the plan that needs clarification, now is a good time to,
You said, sir, that this is not a top-down, third party. It is not in fact a top-down. Why? We can't hear it. And involvement and pressure, more pressure in our private citizens now than I feel that all my life, I've never seen such a horror show. Everybody knows that people and corporations are fleeing this state like I think we should. We're very educated public now. People are way ahead of you. So, why are you saying it's not top down? You're trying to implement through the state, and I imagine that eventually. Yeah. So,
Dan,
why?
repeat it back.
It's already losing private sector workers. That's where the public sector and the people that are not. And why do you think that you're going to be attracting interest from people like our leader, including my involved with pharmaceutical companies? They're leaving.
Well, we think we have an opportunity to change that.
In what way? Specifically, I don't know.
The plan talks about identifying the sector, so your husband's sector is pharma, right? So, yeah, pharmaceutical. The plan says that
in another part of the country because of the tax.
plan says we should engage with that sector and learn from that sector what are the things about New Jersey that are driving them away.
Business environment, taxes, bureaucracy, over involvement in you name it.
So as
There's
I
nothing you should know. I don't know.
no, we do, and a lot of those things.
You're involved in the private sector at all. Everybody knows that private people are.
And one of the things we're doing is we're stepping down the ask of local governments and trying not to do this statewide policy map anymore, or plan endorsement, which had hooks for local governments to do things they may not necessarily want to do. So that's one of our efforts to step down the state's involvement. Because that plan exists today. That process exists today. For some of the regulations in the state that are environmentally bent, in order to get flexibility from the state, you have to go through this $300,000 to $500,000 process. We're arguing, let's not do that anymore. Let's not do this map anymore. So these are the things we heard from the stakeholders that we engaged. A way to complement what this administration is already doing with the business climate and the tax situation we face in the state. So this complements those efforts. Let me be fair, I'm just gonna.
Yes, you just referred to stakeholders.
Yes.
I was at a meeting with Gary up in Bayshore 3 weeks ago, and that was referred to quite a bit, stakeholders. And I understand that there was questionnaires that went out to particular people in the state in coming up with this strategic plan. And I believe it went to bankers, investors, developers. I never received a questionnaire asking me what my input was on this state strategic plan. And I'm wondering why the taxpayers of the state of New Jersey were never asked to contribute to this plan.
Well, right now, you guys are all stakeholders at this moment. So this is the kind of input that we want. The stakeholders that you're referring to are more informational for us to put this together. It was sort of a research project where we got input from environmentalists, from developers, everybody in between. So those are the stakeholders that we got the information from.
Exactly. Why weren't we asked to put our input in? Why weren't we asked, as the taxpayers and property owners mostly, why weren't we asked what we would like to see our state do for us?
And that's what
And
we're
as
asking
we're
now.
paying the bill, I would think, why would we be asked to be a part of what the state plan was going to be?
Okay, now you're being asked for your input. So now,
Now, you already developed the plan. You already have it. It's in the final draft. This is part of the procedure, 6 public hearings. And after you listen to whatever it is we have to say, you're going to go back to your office and go ahead and vote this in. You know, we're not as silly or maybe as uneducated as you think we are. We've been down this road many times. So we understand what happened with the redistricting hearings. I don't know if you were a part of that. So the congressional districts probably have to control those hearings throughout the state. And they went ahead and did what they wanted to do anyway. So what we're trying to do, and which we're not even getting a response, I've emailed your office a number of times asking that we hold more hearings. I don't understand why we're not holding more hearings, 6 hearings for the entire state of New Jersey. It really doesn't hurt. There should be one hearing in every county at least, and you should absolutely without a doubt, publicize what this plan is, make sure every taxpaying person in the state understands what this plan is going to mean to them.
ma'am, could I ask you, could you give us the input now, your thoughts on the plan now?
I am.
Okay, I mean,
What else would you want me to say?
exactly,
These are the
specific-
problems I have with this plan.
related to the plan itself, like what components of it would you like to comment on, the goals, the particular garden state
Well, the
values?
whole plan is absolutely, shall I say it? Anybody want to say it with me? Agenda 21.
it is.
I know what Agenda 21 is, and this is absolutely not Agenda 21. This is absolutely not sustainable development, sustainable growth, whatever. All of it, smart growth, it is not that at all. I know what it is, I don't want that in this state, I don't want it for my family, those are your words. Those are your words specifically. And as you went on, and you explained what the program was, I don't know if you recall, there was a gentleman named Mr. Anthony,
I do.
and he then presented, I mean, it was almost complete contradiction to what you said. Everything that is in Agenda 21 is exactly in the state strategic plan.
You know what, at this point, if we can, I'd like to get questions for clarification on the plan, and then you can make your comments later on the record, the comment period. Because I know there are folks here who have questions. So
I'd like to hear what she has to say.
So would I. We
we
won't get
have
another
time for
chance.
comment. Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling me. I read your final draft of this document. I personally felt it was kind of wordy and insinuated things that weren't true about the state. We can talk about that later. My real question is, if this is not a top-down plan, where is the enforcement? Or what's to say that my city, Vineland, isn't going to follow this plan only when it benefits Vineland, rather than if it doesn't benefit Vineland, they're going to ignore it. If it's not a top-down plan, where do you have the enforcement to make my city, Vineland, say, oh, you have to do this, this isn't a plan? I mean, who's going to say that these municipalities aren't just going to do this when it benefits themselves and not causes them discomfort or grief or makes things harder for themselves? Where is the enforcement in this plan?
It's a plan that wants to work with towns that are willing to work with us. And if there's places where they don't want to do something, they don't do it. And that's why the plan is focused primarily on state government.
I understand what you're saying, but what if, the plan benefits me now, so I'll follow it. And now that plan doesn't benefit me, so I'm just going to ignore it. So where is, your plan has no cohesiveness to it. It's just going to fall apart. You can't enforce it when somebody participates, and they're only going to comply with this plan when it's in their benefit. And when it's not in their benefit, they're just going to completely ignore it. I'd like to know what you have, what your ideas and thoughts are on that to address that issue, because honestly, I don't see how, I read your document. If you wanted the state to read it, you guys should reread that document. Very wordy, very lengthy. I don't understand why, the state was such a low, overall, reading level, being such a complex, wordy document. Like I said, we can address it later, but I feel like insinuates things which are not true about the state.
I just want to point out one thing. This particular plan, the present plan, is 41 pages. The previous one was over 350. So it's quite a bit, more brief than the previous one. So right there, we feel it's a more readable document and more implementable that way. So I just want to point that out, that it's not as wordy as certainly it has been in the past. It's one of the
About the enforcement, is there a way that you're going to make municipalities, if it's not a top-down plan, then how will you enforce it? And how are you going to make sure that municipalities are just, when it's only beneficial?
But that's why it's not a top-down plan, because we don't have a hammer to come down. You don't want it.
So then how would your plan work at all if you only have to follow it when you want, when it benefits you?
Through incentivizing.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. This gentleman just asked for clarification on what vibrant regions meant. I use that word, I basically contemplate. What that means is that, there are cities are part of a broader region, right? So we have, in the end, what means what end in vibrancy is that we have people that are working, that are getting to their jobs quicker, that are in houses that they've been, that they've left. Their kids are getting educated, that are, where taxes are lower. Those are all aspects of vibrant regions. We want to stay here in the state. We don't have businesses that are looking to flee. So vibrant regions are the ones that are magnets, that are attracting families, are attracting companies, and not losing it. We don't define it in the plan. I think that is what we need.
Sir, my arm is gonna fall off.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Sorry.
I don't want your arm to fall off, so let me choose you next.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to know when and who is going to vote on this plan, and will they incorporate the wonderful suggestions they get as a result of all these public meetings in the final plan?
Right.
What
So,
is the purpose of this? In other words, why are they having public meetings? Or do they not intend to listen?
they intend to listen, that's why we're doing
And
this.
will they incorporate some of our suggestions in a revised plan? And who and when will that vote take place?
The vote will take place, the legislature requires the State Planning Commission adopt the plan. After the 6 public hearings, and after 30 days after the last public hearing, we have to receive written public comments. After we get all that in, we're going to synthesize it. We're going to take all the great ideas we can. And we're going to make revisions to the plan. And that's not part of our plan right now, but it will be adopted in a public session. It may be part of our plan in the future, it's not our plan right now. So we're going to listen to the next 6 public hearings, we're going to listen a lot. We're going to grab as much great information as we can, and we're going to synthesize that and make recommendations to have the best document at the end of the day. What we're going to do, are we good to take a break here? We're going to take a 15-minute break. Listen, everyone's going to have an opportunity.
I don't want to break.
Opportunity.
We don't want to break.
The only way we can
Take
make
a
sure that
vote.
everybody has an opportunity is to make sure that we're organized. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to come back here. Then we're going to start calling off everyone that we got slipped for that wants to make public comments. What's that?
There's a specific time you have to be out of the room,
10 o'clock.
and I think you ought to allow people to make public comments.
I said I would stay here all night long, and that's what I'll do. We will take all the comments, and then take a 10-minute break, let us get set up, do it in an orderly fashion. I promise you I will stay here until we hear everybody out. You all get 5 minutes,